Hey guys, I'm Katie. I'm a nurse practitioner and I'm a fertility consultant. I help people figure out why they're not getting pregnant and how to get pregnant faster. Okay, so when someone new is coming to me and they say, I've been trying to get pregnant for X period of time and everything looks normal, here are the 5 things that I'm going to look for first. Okay, so most of the time something is getting missed in one of these areas. Something is not being accounted for, assessed, etc. So before jumping to treatments like IUI, IVF, I really want to understand for my client what is actually going on in their body. Why are we needing to do IUI or IVF? Okay, because if we can better understand why you need to do it, we can better treat that issue. We can prevent you from needing those issues or needing those treatments sometimes. If there's like an anatomical obstruction, that makes things more difficult. But understanding what's going on can help us understand also which one you should invest your money in. Because if you have horrible endometriosis, or if you have a blocked tube or history of an ectopic or poor semen analysis, I probably wouldn't do IUI. And I'm going to have an educated conversation with my clients about what their results show and why each option or what their options are and what the success rates are going to be. At the end of the day, if my clients choose that they want to try something that I think is like maybe not worth their time or money, that is totally fine. That is their right. That is their choice. My job is not to make decisions for my clients. My job is to help my clients make educated decisions. And if they understand, hey, I understand that my risk for IUI is lower than IVF, but this is still something that I want to try, I'm going to support them in that. And I'm going to tell them, okay, great. Here's what we're going to do to get the best chances of this working and getting the best outcomes. Okay. This isn't like me. I know everything and going to tell everybody what to do at all. This is like, I just want you to understand what you're going into and what this is going to look like for you and what the chances are so that you can make a good decision. Okay. A lot of times when I'm starting to work with clients too, it's not that there's one thing wrong or that nothing is wrong. It's that no one has connected the dots yet because we in the medical world, unfortunately, have developed into this kind of like sterile silo system where one group works together and another group works together. And with some of the technologies now, we can see the notes of the other providers, which is great and super helpful for us to be able to get the bigger picture and understand what's going on. But the communication can still be really challenging. It's difficult to get a hold of one another. It's difficult when people have different schedules. If somebody's in the OR and you want to talk about a patient, it's hard for people to sync up and align. We just don't have a great medical community for that. And we also don't have a great medical community that allows practitioners, healthcare providers to spend time assessing labs and making decisions, or like spending time to review those and then start to wonder like, well, why is this level low or high? Like, what do we need to do about that? A lot of times we just put medicine towards it because we don't have the time to spend to like figure out what is the root cause and underlying issues that we need to address first. Okay? So first things that I'm going to look at with clients are medications and supplements. What are we on? What are you taking? Because a lot of times I see that patients are taking way too many things, or they're not taking the right things, or they're taking things that one makes your estrogen levels go up, and they're taking something else that makes the estrogen levels go down. So we're not going to have the results that you want because we're taking too many things that are now contraindicating one another. Sometimes people are taking meds at the wrong time. They're not using things properly. So yeah, that's one thing. A lot of times people are on, I always like joke about the TikTok cleanses and the liver cleanses or parasite cleanses. Don't get me started on those. And I'm like, you don't need to be on this. This is stressing out your liver. This is making things more challenging. This is impacting your fertility. Sometimes people are on pharmaceutical medications, prescription medications that can negatively impact fertility, ovulation. Some meds are not safe for pregnancy. Some male medications are really not great for fertility and for libido. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's just not great for fertility. We're going to leave it at that. Like certain antidepressants are just really bad for that. And so more is not always better. Sometimes I have people that are on so many different antioxidants. I'm like, we need some sort of oxidative stress in the body. We need the body to recognize when there's an embryo to implant, that we need a little bit of some inflammation to kind of get the ball rolling there. So yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna look at is medication, supplements, and then also just like certain like drinks and teas and stuff that people are doing. I want to understand what that is. So yeah, people oftentimes are taking a lot, but not necessarily the right things for their body. Okay. Number 2, I'm going to look at labs. I'm going to see what you've already had done first, but because I'm not going to just blind order tons of labs. If you've already had a good workup, great. We don't have to do as much. If you've had nothing, I want to see what we're looking at first. And if there are any abnormals, what are those? How long ago was this done? Do we need to redraw this, or do we need to investigate deeper as to why this was abnormal? Another big thing when I'm looking at labs is normal versus optimal. Okay, yeah, I've been told that all my labs are normal, but are they great? Are they great for fertility? No. Vitamin D is a huge one that I see for this. A lot of times people are told that their vitamin D is within normal limits, and it very well is based on our regular standards. But in regards to optimal for fertility, that number is sometimes a little bit different, okay? Sometimes people have had incomplete panels in regards to what I'm looking for. So it may be complete for your OBGYN's practice or your PCP's practice, but usually I'm going to look at more extensive stuff, but not until I see what you've already had done, because I want to see where do we need to go. And I'm not trying to spend everybody's money and order every single lab out there, okay? That's not my MO. I want to look and see where do we need to look first and hone in on that. And then when we kind of see abnormals or something that is not optimal, how are we going to improve that? And for abnormal, what are we going to do further to investigate that? Okay. A lot of times progesterone labs aren't done correctly or at the right time. Insulin or glucose stuff is drawn at the wrong time. Thyroid stuff is not fully evaluated. A lot of times if people have like a family history of stuff, there's some additional things that I want to look at. So the takeaway for this is that a lot of times the labs haven't been extensive enough, and normal does not always mean optimal for fertility. Okay. The next thing I want to look at is cycle and consistency. Are you ovulating? While a consistent cycle is good, and I'm more optimistic for regular and strong ovulation, it's not always guaranteed. So I want to understand, are your cycles regular? Are you actually ovulating? Is ovulation strong? Ovulation is not the only thing. It's not enough. So ovulation alone is not enough. It has to be really high quality ovulation. Okay. Number 4 is inflammation. So I'm looking at whole body health. If your body is taking if your body is on fire, we're going to call it inflammation fire, and your body is sending all of the resources to put out the fire, to take water to the fire. Okay. It's trying to stop this fire. Your body is going to send those nutrients and resources to the fire because it's, you're burning up. Okay. We got to put it on the fire. And so when we see that, egg quality is going to be pulled away from, because those nutrients that the eggs need or sperm need aren't going to be delivered because you're putting out a fire, right? So you got to put on your own air mask first before you can help others. We're not going to be worried about egg health and reproduction if our body is on fire, okay? So stress is a big one. Gut health is a big one. Autoimmune disorders are a big one. PCOS, endometriosis, a lot of this can be contributing to like high markers of inflammation. And your body has to feel safe to be able to prioritize pregnancy. If inflammation is high, fertility is not going to be that priority. So that's the 4th thing. Number 5, finally sperm. Okay, so a lot of times this is skipped. It's not assessed, especially if it's somebody that's like just now thinking about trying to get pregnant, or they are kind of in like preconception planning. This can get missed. And I get it. Nobody wants to go do a semen analysis. It's not fun either, but neither is a vaginal exam or an ultrasound and all the other things. So, none of this is pleasant. I get that. But it's also non-invasive. It's pretty quick. And it's a really good way to like understand a first screening of what's going on. Is this within normal limits or is it not? Because then we can change and add supplementation or remove certain factors that might be impacting sperm count, sperm motility, all those kinds of things. Okay. So most of the time, the people that I'm working with are not doing anything wrong. They just don't have a really clear framework on what to do. And once we look at these 5 things together, it starts to make a lot more sense on where to go, where to investigate, and kind of how to navigate the next step. So if you feel like you've been trying and you're doing all the right things, but you still don't have any answers, it may not be about doing more stuff. It may be about looking in the right places and kind of tailoring what we need to do. So this is exactly what I do in my one-to-one work, helping people kind of connect the dots, make small changes, do the things that they can actually do to have a big impact. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. See you next time.